how about today's astrology? One of the reasons we decided on doing this tonight, first of all, it's Friday the 13th, and there's so much lore about Friday the 13th. Some people think it's horribly unlucky, but people who are metaphysical realize that 13 is one of the most powerful numbers we have. Powerful combination of 1, which is I, and 3, which is community. I communicate with community. Community communicates with me. So today we're in the new moon cycle, and the new moon takes place once every 28 days, and the 3 days before and the 3 days after are part of that cycle. And this year, in the new moon cycle, the new moon in Cancer, that means that the sun is in Cancer at the same degree as the moon. So they're together. We call these the lights, and the lights have come together. And so these energy forces have come together to show us the way. A new moon is a time to plant seeds. It's a time to begin to activate your wishes. It's a time to get started on what you want. The new moon, this new moon, it also has a partial solar eclipse. And partial means that we're going to see part of the sun, as opposed to the whole entire sun being blotted out. It doesn't really matter though, because an eclipse is an amazing, amazing energetic occurrence. And solar eclipses bring in the new. Well, we're already in the new moon, which is bringing in the new and encouraging the new. The solar eclipse brings in the new. And it's a long, long, long time before we're going to get, and by that I mean 80 to 150 years before we get another one that's as powerful as this one. So the solar eclipse, the sun and moon together, are exactly opposing by degree, the planet of transformation, the planet of alchemy, the planet of ultimate power in the universe, Pluto. So basically what you have is the sun and moon coming together. In a way, the sun and moon are like daddy and mommy coming together, and Pluto is the great planter of all seeds. So in a way, this time is being seeded. It's being activated and seeded by the most prolific planet we've got, Pluto. So again, a great time to make wishes. And Mars, the planet of how we take action, how things get done, and Mercury will soon go into retrograde. Mars is currently in retrograde right now. Therefore, so how we take action is really about, instead of putting our action out into the world, is about bringing it in and letting that magic come into us and perhaps stir that around in us and see what we get. Mercury is still direct, but in a few days, Mercury, the planet of gathering and processing information, the planet of communication, is going to go retrograde, and that's another time to let things stew, to let things brew and come about, to turn into their magical result or magical being. It's pretty phenomenal, and I'm very excited about it. And I would like you to just take a look right now at your lives and just notice how intense things have been. That intensity isn't necessarily an easy thing to deal with unless you realize that, like anything on a stove top, you can turn the heat down, you can adjust things, you can pour more cool water into the pot. And that's what knowledge is, and that's what we're providing you with today about how to deal with the not only planetary energies, but all of the energies in your world, in your universe. So having said that, I'm going to turn this back over to Daniel, who is going to talk about the 3 sacred keys.
Okay, Sheila, thank you very much. So I took notes, and so the things that stuck out to me, I'm sure I missed things, but were a time for seeding, for wishing, a time for allowing for things to show up, to come to come to us, a time for stewing and brewing, that sense of something cooking, being preparing, not necessarily movement, but something's happening, something's like, and ways to deal with the fact that things are intense. So what I'm about to present is part of that picture, and then Sheila's going to pick up after I'm done here and bring in something different. And between these two, and this was something that was profound for us, as we were talking, it's like, look, these two go together hand in glove in ways that make profound difference for people. So let me get started on the three sacred keys. So the three sacred keys came to me, they were given to me when I was doing my introspective hypnosis training, and I was in the role of a client. And in that session, I was asking about clarification on my mission. And Archangel Michael came in, and he gave me these three secret keys, literally word for word. And he told me that this was what it is I was going to teach, and he helped me to start to understand their importance. So he said, look, this is how you live your life, but you've never seen it this way, and start to embrace the simplicity of this. So what are these? They're basically a new operating system. And so by embracing these three keys, these three positions in yourself, it's a fundamental reset of how it is that you see yourself and how it is that you see all of life. It puts you in a different position in yourself kind of before life happens. It's installing a new operating system. And so tonight's presentation of them is going to be brief, and they sound quite simple, but I'm going to ask you to just leave room for the fact that there's a tremendous amount of depth, of profundity behind these words that seem, if not a little confusing maybe at first, actually quite simple. So, and since tonight is brief, we will send you tomorrow, when you get a link to tonight's recording, there'll be a link to a workshop that Sheilaa and I gave about a month ago that goes into these a little more in depth. So the three sacred keys, basically, one way to say it is they open you up to receiving answers, open you up to getting help, to seeing things from a different point of view, to seeing the things that you're already seeing, but in a new light. They are the keys to actually having and creating your life as your life, and not the life that's been programmed into you, whether or not you know it or not, or whether or not you know it, whether or not, I mean, this happens for all of us. We're given all of these messages culturally, subconsciously, from this life, from our parents, from past lives. There's so much in here already that is coloring how we see life, that we end up, in essence, kind of recreating the same life. And those things that we really want that we can't get beyond, largely it's because there's programming working in here that we don't see. And because we don't see it and can't kind of get under it or over it, we keep recreating the same wall. So these keys give us the ability to get beyond that. So tonight we're talking about abundance. So whatever it is in your life, you know, maybe bring something up in your mind. There's probably a lot of things, but bring one thing up. And so let's just kind of keep that in mind as I talk about these keys. So key one is I don't know. Another way of saying that is I don't already know. So since the context of the conversation is getting what you want, what you don't already know is how to do it, what it's going to take, what's in the way. I think it's simple enough to say that, and to admit to ourselves, well, I've been trying this for a while, I just don't know how to do it. Now the thing is, how do you relate to that? I don't know can be a point of frustration. It can be I'm doing something wrong, you know. And if you kind of look back in there, if your mind is like mine, what's in there is I'm an idiot. I should know how. What the hell's wrong with me? These kind of things. So I'm talking about a fundamental position of just saying, look, I don't know. End of story. End of story. So there's ways to practice this, and we don't have time to go into this tonight, unfortunately, but it's important to see that there's a place of just saying, look, I don't know how to do this, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just where I am. I don't know, period. Relax. Just be here with the situation that you have, wanting what you want. I don't know. Now you're ready for the next step, which is, I want to know. I don't know, but I'm not satisfied with that. I want to know. This is something I actually want in my life. I want to know. I want to know how to manifest this thing that I want. So most of us start here. Like, I want to know. So maybe I don't know how to do this. I need to find out. I need to do more of this. I need to do more of that. But this, I need to do more of this. I need to stop doing that. Already starts from the position of, I know how to do it. I just need to do more of this and more of that. Give it all up. Take a deep breath, step back. I don't know. Stop. If you let yourself do that, like right now, I just feel so much space. And in that space, to embrace, but I want to know. I want to know how to have this thing in my life, whatever it is. So this puts you in a position of being at peace to some, to the degree that you can be with the situation as it is, and starting to lean forward a little bit, being interested. It's what puts us in the position to allow life to show us. And a real quickie, we don't have much time, but is in this position, and I'm going to ask you to think about doing this as moving forward, is be open, be looking for the ways in which life in the thoughts you think, in the music that shows up on the radio, the song that's playing when you wake up in the morning. Take the position of all of life is trying to show me what it is that I need to know. Adopt that position. And from this place of, I don't know, I want to know, be open to seeing, to hearing, to feeling, to sensing what it is that you need to know, where it is that you need to move forward next. Cool. Key number 3. After I don't know, nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. I want to know, nothing's wrong, and I want to know how to, and tonight we're talking about how to have what I want. I want to know how to have what I want, opening up to life. Third key, I'm willing to act on what it is that I find, on what it is I discover, on what it is I see, what it is I feel. So this is really crucial, because otherwise, if we're not willing to act, so let's just talk about willing for a second. Willing means ready, eager, prepared. I even saw one definition, which may seem a little too much, but willing is like, it's to be willing to respond promptly and faithfully. So this idea is, okay, I'm opening up all of life. This key is I'm opening up to all of life, and I want to know. And when something strikes me that feels to me like, oh my gosh, that feels like it's a way forward, is to be willing to act, is to actually move forward, take that action, and then I don't know, I want to know, I'm willing to act. So this is something that is an adopting of a very fundamentally different relationship to what it is that you want. I don't know. Dropping what it is you think that you do or don't already know about making that happen. Just dropping it all. It doesn't mean being naive or being stupid, but just dropping it so that there's space, I want to know, for life to come and show you, hey, look over here. Hey, do this. Hey, look at it this way. hey, you should do this now. And our ability to respond, for those of you that are in touch with your intuition, this will make more sense. For those that feel like, I don't think so, I'm just going to ask you to trust, pay attention. There's so much of life trying to show you already right now what it is that you need to know. And to be willing to act, to actually act on it, to move forward, see what happens. So the 3 sacred keys basically give you a completely new relationship to your life, and they take cultivation, they take practice, they need your intention to move forward and to practice them. So the other bit that Archangel Michael gave me was, he said, look, there's a tremendous change happening on the planet right now. We don't have time to go into all of that. It's obvious for any of you guys that are paying attention. Stuff is happening. And in order for us to make the best use of those profound energetic shifts, these 3 keys are the tool to make use of it, because they unhook us from the past, from our beliefs, from our sense of limitation, so that our guides, the angels, all of life in all its forms, our dear friends in their many manifestations, can actually show us what to do next. So, so I don't know the 3 sacred keys. I don't know. I want to know, and I'm willing to act on what it is that I find. So now we're gonna move forward, and I'm gonna turn it back over to Sheilaa, who's gonna show us how to activate the 3 sacred keys.
Thank you. I always love that. And you and I have spoken about the 3 sacred keys so many times. I know them by heart, but I love to hear you explain them, because it just makes it alive and full. So that was a good one.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. I am, among other things, a spellcaster, which is someone who can make things happen. And I took a look at what a spell is and what a spellcaster does. So I'm going to tell you about a spell, first of all, and that's what we're going to use. I'm going to give you a spell, and we're going to use this spell to activate the 3 sacred keys. A spell is the gathering up and aligning of your desire energy for the person, object, or wish you want with the energy of that desired person, object, or wish. I act as a matchmaker, nurturing and bringing the energies together in such a way that a successful outcome can be achieved. A spell is not a hex or a curse. Those are negative. And they don't bring joy, and they don't bring any quality of life to you. I focus on what will bring joy and what will bring quality of life. And in many ways, when you think about it, you're always creating or working some spell in a profound way. You're bringing it in because you're creating that energy. The times when you're driving around looking for a parking space, and all of a sudden one opens up. You can say, oh, my angels did that, or look at that, I'm lucky, or wow, how did that happen? That's because your desire for that parking space and the energy of the parking space met at the same time. And they met because you are like a powerful magnet, and you brought that wonderful magnetic parking space energy to you. And with the marriage of those two, somebody realized, oh, I need to be going now. Sheila's going to be coming along, and she wants this space. And that, by the way, is how it usually does work for me. So I know that this is something that goes beyond parking spaces. If I want something, I set my intention. I follow the 3 sacred keys. And when I set my intention and I follow the 3 sacred keys, I do my work, because no spell or hope or wish or desire is really going to happen without your input. So it's not that somebody comes along and waves a magic wand and, there it is, your wish. We live on the Earth planet, and the Earth planet is one that says, what effort have you made? And the effort to make for your manifestation or money spell, you need certain things. I asked at the beginning, and some of you might not have been here in time for that, for you to get a piece of paper and a pen. So I'm going to give you the ingredients for the spell and the instructions for working it. One, the first thing you need is a green stone, malachite or adventurine. I prefer malachite. I got a nice density and a nice flowing pattern to it, and it has a good, it looks weighty and it feels weighty. Malachite is great. Now, if for whatever reason you can't find malachite, which you can pretty much find in any metaphysical shop, and nowadays if they're making it into jewelry, and they're also, you can get it online. If you really have no way of finding aventurine or malachite, get a piece of rock and get some green paint, because the green is for nurturing and what's growing and what can grow. Then you want a drawing or a photo of what you want. It doesn't have to be a huge 11 by 17, a photo, small enough, of what you want. Next, you need a photo of yourself. Also, not necessary to be 11 by 17. So, a photo of yourself. Then take an envelope and put the photo of what you want and your picture in the envelope. You've now created a separate sacred space for yourself and for your wish to begin communicating. And what I do is I have green envelopes, and I would put my photo, if I were you, and the photo of what I want in a green envelope. Then I place the envelope on a gold color or silver color tray. And this doesn't mean you have to go out and spend a fortune. You can go to the dollar store. You can get spray paint and you can make your own. And the tray, by the way, doesn't have to be something that you went and you sourced out and found it in somebody's great antique shop. Sometimes even those colored pieces of cardboard that come in a box of candy that are wrapped in gold foil, those will work. So place your envelope on the gold or silver colored tray and put the green stone on top of the envelope. And put this tray, envelope, stone combination in a place where it won't be disturbed. You don't have to hide it unless you live with people or you have people coming over who might ridicule or be too curious or tamper with what you're doing. But put it away, and every night before bed, hold the envelope to your heart and see and feel yourself with the physical embodiment of the thing you desire. And by that I mean, with your eyes closed, just really get into it, what it'll be like to have that thing, what it'll be like to be in that space, what it'll be like if you want to go on our Odyssey quest to Catalonia, what it would be like to be on the plane, how satisfied you feel to be on the plane on the way there, how satisfied you feel arriving in Barcelona, how fabulous you feel as you walk on the Camino de Santiago, the most phenomenal space of land that ends in, of course, Montserrat, where you would have an opportunity there. If your wish, your desire is for a better paying job, think about what that would be like. Not only think about it, feel how great it would be to have someone hand you a paycheck with all of those zeros after the comma and go, wow, look at this, and feel how great that would feel. And every night for 1 to 3 minutes, maybe up to 5, but no more than that, have that relationship. Have that relationship come alive, have that relationship speak to you, and you speak to it. And thereafter, pay attention to your intuition and your dreams, because they're messengers, and they're going to help you. They'll tell you what street you need to be on, or who you need to talk to, or who you don't need to talk to. But listen to the little reminders. And there's no time frame on when your desire will come true. So if you say, well, when will my desire come true? I'm going to refer you back to being willing to act when you get information. And that refers you back to the second key, which is be open open to knowing. I want to know, be open to knowing. And having said that, these are the very things, the steps I take when I really want something profound. This is what I do. And if you activate yourself by activating the energy around you, you're going to activate your wish or your desire. You're going to activate whatever tools you're using to create and to bring forward your wish or your desire. So later on, we're going to have questions, and if you have questions about anything I've said or anything Daniel has said, I invite you to just jot them down and definitely ask for clarification. So the 3 sacred keys have been activated, and I am now going to give a guided meditation, which is going to further this. So what I'd like you to do is to sit relaxed, relax your shoulders, and breathe deeply, rhythmically, gently. And with each deep, rhythmic, gentle breath, give yourself permission to have this experience and permission to benefit from it. As you continue to breathe deeply, rhythmically, gently, see yourself on a road. See yourself walking down a road. And you're walking towards something, toward your goal, which you can see in the distance. So see yourself walking toward your goal. You're walking down a road, and in the distance you can see your goal. It's ahead of you. Is it that job you want? Is it that trip you want to take? Is it that relationship you want? See yourself headed towards this goal. And as you're headed towards the goal, and you get closer to it, you begin to notice that there are obstacles of all kinds blocking your path. You stop and take a minute and look at these obstacles. Look at them and notice how they've completely blocked your path. You might be able to see over them, you might be able to see through them, but you somehow can't get past them or around them. So stand there for the next minute or so and really take in the shape and the form of these obstacles. As you're observing the obstacles, you hear a sound coming from your left side. And you look to your left and you see a ferocious animal approaching you. And I mean scary. You know in your heart that you won't be hurt, but you know that this animal, in whatever form, is approaching you. Take a minute and watch this animal, this ferocious animal, approach you. It's walking up to you. It's not running. It's approaching you, confidently approaching you. And as this ferocious animal confidently approaches you, observe it. And as you observe it, you begin to notice that there's something familiar about it. You can't quite put your finger on it yet, but there is something familiar about this ferocious animal. Intuitively, you understand that this beast, this ferocious animal, will not hurt you. And intuitively you know that you need to, at this time, to sit down and talk with the animal. And you know that the animal needs to talk with you. So sit comfortably. See yourself sitting comfortably on the side of the road with this ferocious beast, and the two of you begin to talk. Ask this ferocious beast who it is and why it's in your life, why it's shown up on your path, on your road to your goal, on your road to getting what you want. And this animal, this ferocious beast, responds and tells you that it represents every belief system you have about not getting what you want. It represents every belief system you have about not getting what you want. As you continue to breathe deeply, rhythmically, gently, you really take a look at this ferocious beast and look at what it is and what it's made up of. Is it anything that you've seen before, or is it made up of parts of all kinds of beasts, all kinds of scary things? And as you look at that, ask the ferocious animal, ask it why it's taken the form of your belief system. And really listen to what it says. Ask it where it came from and why it's taken the form of your belief system. As you continue to breathe deeply, rhythmically, gently, ask the ferocious animal what it wants or needs from you in order to go away from you, in order to leave your life forever. And as you ask this ferocious animal what it wants or needs from you in order to leave your life forever, remember what it says. As you continue to breathe deeply, rhythmically, gently, the ferocious beast surprises you by asking you how and why you've held on to it all this time. How and why you've held on to the ferocious beast that represents your belief systems all this time. And as this animal asks you this question, you feel in your heart and soul, and you know that you too have been holding on to it just as much as it's been stalking you. You listen to what your heart and mind say as you speak to the ferocious beast, and you answer his question. You answer its question of why and how you've held on to it all this time. Remember, this ferocious beast represents your belief system about getting what you want. As you continue to breathe deeply, rhythmically, gently, and you two continue to talk, you and the ferocious beast, you begin to make peace with each other. And you reach a point where you can and you have made peace with each other. Take a minute and make peace with the ferocious beast as it makes peace with you. And thank it for serving you in your transformation to your most powerful and empowered self. As you continue to breathe deeply, rhythmically, gently, you and the ferocious beast go your separate ways, having made peace with each other. And realizing, having made peace with each other, you no longer need each other. And as you watch the ferocious beast walk away from you, you feel a sense of joy, a sense of relief, a sense of wealth and bounty. And give yourself a minute and really feel this joy, this sense of relief, this sense of joy and bounty. As you continue to breathe deeply, rhythmically, gently, you turn your attention back to the road that leads to your goal. And for the first time in your life, you see the road. And you see the road free of all obstacles, free of all limitations, free of all blockages. As you move toward the golden light of receiving your deepest, most heartfelt wish, desire, wish, desire, object. And give thanks to yourself. Give thanks to the goal for calling you. Give thanks to the beast for being a part of your journey. And give thanks to your divine energy for supporting you. And take a deep breath, and when you're ready, come back into the space.
Great. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Thank you, Sheilaa. That was beautiful.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hopefully, I can sit here and talk. I definitely went on a journey there, and so thank you. And it was nice to kind of revisit that that route of our Odyssey quest. I could picture it because I was just in all those places recently doing the planning for it. It's like, oh my God, I'm so excited.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, cool. So I have a quick thing which I heard as I was going through this. I'm going to interrupt our flow a little bit, Sheilaa, before you move on with the astrology for the next 2 weeks. So as we were doing that, I heard pick a card. So do you mind if I pick a? I'm just feeling when I pick a card.
Definitely.
And bring that energy into.
Yes, this goes back to your sacred key number 2.
Yes, exactly.
I want to know. Listen. Yes.
Yes. And so so I'm going to do a quick shuffle. So I while you were doing that, I got out of my meditation real quick to grab my cards. So got my deck of cards here, and so basically, everybody, I'm going to set the intention to pull the card that will bring the energy in, that will be helpful to us, helpful to you as you move forward these next 2 weeks, because Sheilaa's going to talk in a little bit about the astrology coming up for the next 2 weeks, leading up to the full lunar eclipse in 2 weeks. These are profound times. I mean, this is like profound 2 weeks in the most profound kind of time we're all in together. So, so let's see. Let me pull. Oh my God, these. Sorry. So,
okay.
It's the Magician. So this is it's in French, Le Bateleur. So this is the Magician. So what am I getting about this for the Magician relative to? So there's one thing that jumps out at me. So I use these cards in my readings all the time, and it's amazing to me how every time I look, there's something new I hadn't looked. So basically, the Magician is the what I would say relevant to what we're talking about is the part of us.
Daniel, would you hold him up and hold him still for a minute so people
Sorry,
can see?
yeah,
it's pretty neat.
Because I'm getting a lot of information. So he's the part. He's the energy that's willing to act. So he's the male energy, kind of the unformed, not yet in physical form energy, who's actually willing to act on the inspiration that comes from the divine. So. So stepping out of the fool who comes before him, I got to keep this simple. The one who the fool is, to me is the first key totally. Like I don't know, and the fool saying I don't know, and he's willing to step forward anyway. Here we have the magician who's open and saying, show me, and I will do. Show me, and I will do. So, and on his table are all the tools of his trade. He's got the things he needs. And so this is amazing. It's amazing. So Sheilaa basically just gave us a tool to use in the next 2 weeks is to work this spell and to use the information that came from the meditation that she just gave us. Those are some of the tools that you have in your belt. Now, what strikes me about this that I never really saw before is there's a way in which he's looking at those dice floating in space. See if I can do this. There's a way he's looking at it, which to me, I'm seeing it's like, oh my God, I never noticed those before. He's kind of like, what the heck are those? And so it's like, look, there are tools, there are messages, there are things there waiting for you here, even in his hands. It's kind of like these things that are right there that are things for you, for us, and they're just right there. So the message that I'm getting is, look, what you need to take the next step. So maybe not to take 5 steps down the road, but to take the next step and maybe the next step. They're right there. But if you haven't been seeing them, and you haven't because you're here with us tonight, then to embrace what Sheilaa gave us with the spell, with what showed up in that meditation, grab those keys and just work them and just say, like, I don't really know, and ask questions tonight. And just work them, and they will show up because they're right there. So is there anything else that you want to add to that, Sheilaa?
No, I'm pretty, I think it's great. The Fool actually has come up for me because the Fool takes chances too. And I love the Fool card. I love the Magician because I feel I often, when I teach my classes, I ask the quiz I give to my students is, what can the Magician do? And then I give them a hint. There are only 2 things. And after they go through whatever they go through, I finally give them a break and I say, anything and everything. So the Magician has come up, and if you are like the Fool in the tarot, the Fool is not foolish. The Fool listens to the voice of God, and the Fool takes risks, takes chances. And these risks and chances are exactly what you do when you roll the dice, when you toss the dice, or they float in front of you. Or you take that extra drive around the block, and sure enough, on that extra, the 3rd time around, somebody pulls out just in front. Because intuitively you heard, don't give up yet. So the Magician is that person, that part of you that can create anything and everything once the Magician's energy is aligned with the desire.
Perfect. Yay!
Yes,
that's beautiful.
Definitely.
That's beautiful. Okay, so now back to our program. Okay, Sheilaa. So you ready to talk about the astrology coming up for the next 2 weeks and how we can use those energies? Wonderful.
Okay. I'm going to be brief because right now that's really all I need to be. Eclipses are dynamic. They're explosive. They're phenomenal. And the new moon eclipse, the solar eclipse, wow. Something coming to life, light. It's wonderful. And the lunar eclipse, the full moon eclipse, it can also be those things, light and wonderful. But it's the moon, and the moon rules the inside, the intuitive, the interior. So there's going to be a lot that's going to be wanting to burst out from the full moon eclipse. Full moons are very emotional. Full moons are also, they can be a bit dangerous if you're not handling them properly, because that's like a live wire. It's plenty of energy for you to use as you choose to use, but if you allow that energy to get the better of you, which is maybe you were angry and you said or you did something, maybe you even felt justified in being angry, it still doesn't make an excuse. So use that energy. It's going to be very profound because this time, whereas the new moon is making an association with the planet Pluto, the full moon will be at eclipse, which is like saying the planet Pluto on steroids. And it's going to be making an association with that retrograde Mercury. So Mercury will be retrograde, that is, It's going to be there'll be a lot of internal things happening, a lot of thoughts, a lot of feelings, and a lot of issues since Mercury is in the sign of Leo. It's a lot of feelings about how you feel, what's going on for you, what's going on in your life, in your world, and what it's at the heart of the matter in your wanting and getting what you want. What's at the heart of the matter about the people in your life who are either assisting you or who are creating blocks for you. What's in your life about how you've come to think and believe, how you've come to communicate with yourself. Remember, it's Mercury, and it's the sign of Leo, it's the sign of the heart, what you've taken to heart. So this is a time when that full moon and that lunar eclipse are going to have those things. You'll definitely be able to see them. They'll be interior, but you'll see them. And how you handle that information can break you out of this prison, the prison of not having and not feeling deserving enough and always being blocked by something or someone. So pay attention to that. Be responsible to your emotions, to your feelings, and we have organized this workshop in such a way that we can actually address that, which we'll talk about, which we are going to talk about in a little bit. We are going to answer your questions tonight, but there's another part of this workshop in 2 weeks around the time of the lunar eclipse, and other things are going to come up for you, which we'll discuss in a few minutes. So I'm going to turn this over to you, Daniel, and any comments or questions or
one thing real quick. I just was thinking, and then we're gonna open this up to questions, everybody. So so be ready with whatever questions you have about whatever we've said tonight, because this is really packed with a lot of stuff. I'm realizing, oh my gosh, we're given a lot. And so question. So you were talking, Sheilaa, about all of this stuff with this energy that's going to be coming up. Also, even without all that energy, doing something like this, embracing the 3 keys, it's like you're basically saying, show me. And there's lots of things that life will start to show you, some of which will feel like help, some of which will feel possibly a little scary, because it's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that was going on. And so in this time of intensity, I think this is why this is such an amazing time, because it's like, okay, guys, are you serious about what you want? Because if you are, boom, come on, let's do it. And what I'm going to offer to everybody is grab those 3 keys like crazy, because when that stuff comes up, grab that first key. I don't know, because otherwise you can start getting into all of these things you already know about it and make yourself wrong, there's something wrong, etc. Then hold on a second. Grab the first key. I see this. I feel it. Start with, I don't know. Start there. So, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Start there and then get in that process with it, because just keep opening up. And then, the second thing is, we didn't talk, I've alluded this to a little bit, is basically my experience of this, particularly when I first started working this years ago, was like realizing, oh my God, life is giving me information all the darn time. And so what does it say is if you think about, you can think about this like you're starting to open a relationship with all of life in all its forms, and wherever you, when you're starting a new relationship, communication is key. So I would say start communicating, start talking. And so when stuff comes up and you're like, I don't know how to deal with it, say, help me, I don't know how to deal with it. I mean, I do this actually just verbally too. It's like really extend yourself in communication, because it just keeps opening up the door. It keeps from closing down. Help, I don't understand this, help me to see this. So instead of going into, I'm wrong, there's something wrong here, whatever, it's like, help me, I want to see this differently. Suddenly the energy shifts and the arms go open again and you're open. So there's a couple of quick things that I find really helpful, particularly when I'm in a situation that just feels overwhelming. Like, hey guys, help me out here. Okay. So, okay. Who's got a question, please?
Or a comment, or as I like to say, a compliment.
Hi, this is Jane. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Jane.
Hi. So my question is, how clear do you have to be about your vision? For example, for me, I know it involves being on and in and nearby natural water, but I don't know whether that means I'm going to find a wonderful place to rent, or I should try, be looking to buy, or I just need to be, or I'll be driving to lakes and rivers and the ocean.
Okay, that's an excellent question, and I'll tell you what I've learned in life. If you're not definite about something, then the universe will just serve you anything. And water can be a stagnant pool. So you don't want somebody to say, here's your inheritance, it's a stagnant pool. So what you want is you say, well, I don't care what the prices are. I want to live in a lovely home facing the Atlantic Ocean in this spot. And never mind what the prices are or how things go. That's what you want. You've now given a clear picture to yourself, to the universe, what you want. And the universe will look and see what it is your heart is really asking for in wanting that wonderful home with the clear picture, clear view of the Atlantic. And it will give you the essence of that. A very wise person once said, ask for everything. Let the universe edit, and I added, then negotiate. So ask for what you want. The more clear you are, it's like going to a restaurant and it says breakfast served all day, and you say eggs. And so I, as the waitstaff, would say, how many eggs, and how do you want them cooked? And you say, well, I don't know, eggs. You're the person in charge here. And you may or you may not get what you want with eggs. But if you say, I want 2 eggs over easy, then I know. Now, they may not show up 2 eggs over easy, but we both know if it doesn't show up, we both know that it didn't show up and how it didn't show up and what we have to do to make sure it shows up. So that's a part of it. Go on.
I was going to say, knowing that I will get the essence of what I'm asking for frees me from the fear, from the, I don't know, whatever comes up with not, trying to get it exactly right when there are several possibilities that would serve.
Exactly. What you want, when you say the essence, this is what your soul is calling for. Oh, I want the essence of this. And one thing I like to do is I like to say, when I look out my living room window and I stare into that beautiful Atlantic and I see the beach between my house and the water, I want to feel a sense of wholeness and completeness. I want to feel wealthy in every fiber of my being. And I want to feel that everything I've ever done has been worth it to get me to this point. Now you've just told them how you want to feel. That's concrete for them. They know how to work with that.
Yes. And now I completely get it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And now I completely know who Jane is. Hi, Jane.
Hi, Sheila.
Yes.
Great. Thanks, Jane.
You're welcome. Thank you both.
You're welcome.
Can you hear me?
Linda?
Yeah.
Can hear you, can't see you, but I can hear you. But you're kind of breaking up, so.
I'm listening on the phone,
okay.
But I now on the computer. As you know, I tend to be kind of vague in what I want, and I'm just wondering, can it be something general, like I want enough money to do what I want, or I want a good relationship with this particular person?
It can be, you need to be more specific. I want enough money to do what I want, or I want enough money to feel secure. It's leaving it to the universe to determine what you want and what security is for you. You could say, I want enough money to feel secure, which means that all of my bills have to be paid for the month, each month, with enough left for me to go shopping, say a stipend of $2,000 extra per month. Just say it. Just the way you order those eggs.
And what about
So relationships? I want to be in relationships where I feel I'm in an equal, balanced relationship with somebody who loves, likes, and honors me as much as I love, like, and honor them and myself. I want to be in a relationship where I feel safe. To ask for those qualities.
Great.
Yeah, I think that's important because kind of to Linda, to your question, and also Jane's question is, because in my experience, my own life, I've realized that, like when you start going down a road, start taking action, feeling like, oh, I should do this, and you take action. Sometimes, and it's happened to me a number of times, you get a few steps down the road, and things become more clear. And so as you become, and without taking the action, the clarity wouldn't come. So that's the first point I want to make, is action is really critical. And it may, 2 weeks down the road, you kind of think, oh, God, I can't believe I did that. And at the same time, it got you to further clarity. So the more clear you get as you take action, you bring that clarity to the intention that you're setting. So I take whatever clarity you can get, move it, and it doesn't have to be about what he looks like, what kind of work he does, where he lives. Make it be about you, how you want to feel, etc. Sheila already addressed that. But okay, hopefully that helped, Linda.
One other question: can you want something for someone else, like for them to do well or feel good about themselves, or is that out of the realm? And also, I forget how to do it myself.
And what was that last bit? And I think what?
I forget how to put myself on mute again.
Okay, I can do that for you, Linda. I can do that for you when we're done. Sheila, do you want to answer that?
Well, yes, we can take a look at that. I would love to say, of course, you can want something for someone else. And the truth is, you do want and you can want something for other people. But you can't work to make it happen. You can't fix things for them. You can't give them the thing you want them to be. You can introduce them to it, but then you have to step away. You have to say, what I want for you is I want you to feel safe within yourself. I want you to not feel that you have to hide or lie or deny yourself things. But you can't make that person do that. You can tell them, and then you have to put it down. You put the wish down in front of them and walk away. They will either pick it up, or they will ignore it, or they will kick it, or they will lose it, or whatever they do with it, it's on them. You need to spend your time making sure that you're a great example. And a great example of how to live this life that we're speaking about is to live this life that we're speaking about. Be that magical person. Be that happy person. Be that person who loves and respects themselves and attracts all kinds of goodies and magic to themselves. And as you're that, people will say, oh, I want that. I think it's worth my doing whatever it takes to get that. Let me talk to her again and see how she did it so I'll know how to do it.
And another thing I want to just add to that, that's brilliant. I think that's brilliant. And then another thing I would add is just that an additional thing is to turn it into a wish for yourself and turn it into an intention for yourself. I want to feel at peace about this situation with such and such.
Yes.
And set that intention. So bring it here and let the universe guide you, and you may get some amazing way in which you can interject or add something to that situation over there that will come from a different place because you've opened up to receiving that guidance. But take that on as, I want to have peace. I want to have whatever in relationship to X, Y, and Z with this person.
Right. Very good. Excellent.
Okay, Linda, thank you.
Right. So
Okay.
Anyone else with questions or comments?
Yes, I have a question, Sheila.
Yes.
Hi, Sheila. I don't know if you
Yes,
remember. It's Domenica.
yes, I do. Hi. Yes.
Okay, hi.
Yes.
Sheila, how would I, uh, so my oldest daughter, she's going out with somebody or she's living with somebody who's not very family orientated. So he's more on his own, doesn't visit too much. So I'm noticing that my daughter's becoming that way. How would I encourage or how could I wish for more closeness with them, with our family?
Wow. Well, the first thing you want to do, I really feel that you've got to give your daughter on every level permission to live her life authentically.
Right.
So if she's authentically not wanting to be around family so much, that's fine. If she's not wanting to be around her family so much because she's influenced by this man, that's not authentic. But if you ask for her not to be around the family more, not to not follow his lead, but to be more authentic with what she wants and to be willing to have the courage and take the action that will bring her to what she wants.
Okay.
And that means that sometimes you're not going to get exactly what you think it is you want to see, but your daughter will be living from that place. And that's your prayer. That needs to be your hope. That needs to be your prayer. That needs to be what you put out there.
So just asking her to be as authentic.
To be authentic, to be true to herself and what really works for her, especially around family matters.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Domenica. Okay, I think we have time for one last question. Any more questions this evening?
Hi, Beulah
Hi,
here.
who is it?
Beulah.
Hi, Beulah.
I just wanted to thank you guys for doing this. I try to practice this as much as I can, like just sort of focusing on things that I want. But like you said, that monster, that beast to the side is always there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So hopefully I can walk away from the beast.
Yes, making peace with the beast is quite a thing. It's a very necessary thing to do. So that you know that, you've had now, since with the meditation, you had an interaction with the beast and one where you actually got to make peace with it. Continue. That beast is going to show up again and again. Your job is to say, no, we've made our peace, go away.
Okay.
And eventually the beast, because we're all creatures of habit, eventually this creature will say, oh, this is just a habit showing up in her life. Will go away.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to just add to that, Beulah, is that this is where the three keys can offer you something. Is that so whatever that beast is to you, and it's whatever it is that it's probably something that's been with you for a long time. There's a way in which you've come to relate to it. There's a way in which you've come to see yourself, see what it is, etc. Is I'm going to invite you to just for the next 2 weeks, because we will be here in 2 more weeks to basically answer questions and to help people to take whatever it is that's shown up and to move this further. And so for the next 2 weeks is really embrace, okay, I don't know what this is, and which doesn't mean it's not there or that you haven't had whatever experience you've had with whatever it is that beast is. It just means I'm willing to not already assume that I know what it is, that I know what I've done that hasn't worked, et cetera, and really embrace I don't know, but I want to know what it is I need to know so that this beast is not stopping me anymore. And then as things show up that show you a next step is be willing to take action. Okay. And just I'm just going to ask you to give it a try. And it's something that I know for many people where this is new is you just have to keep reminding yourself and like write 3 keys, write this stuff so that you kind of keep coming back. Hold on a second. I don't really know what this is and I don't know how to get around it in a way that's like, okay, now I can begin. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
great. Thanks for the question. And one last one real quick. Karen, did you have a question? I saw that you had to try to get in.
Yes,
did you
I
have
did. I did.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Okay.
Is this Karen?
Yes, Sheila. Hi.
Hi, lovely. How are you?
Well, thank you. I miss you.
I miss you too.
And I want to fix that. I want to join your Odyssey quest.
Yeah. Well.
And but it's twined up with my work life that I really, really want to change, and the universe is telling me that it's time to change. I just don't know. I don't know how to do it. It's been my life. So
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, one, you've been on my mind for the last 3 weeks, like daily.
Okay.
And so I've been saying no. I've been saying no, I can't call her. No, I can't call her. And I wasn't saying it. Divine energy was saying it. So that you're here now, and by the way, this has happened to me with 4 people over the last 3 or 4 weeks. I keep hearing no, no, and they show up. One woman from Chicago showed up today at Crystal Essence.
Really?
Years and years and years showed up at Crystal Essence. Now, we've known each other for lifetimes. We're just getting to know each other in this lifetime. And I've been thinking about her too, and it's okay, fine. And I'm understanding. It's the whole thing about not saying, I'm going to run and grab it and do it. It's about listening. It's especially step 2, which leads to step 3, or the sacred key 2, which leads to the sacred key 3. And so you and I need to talk to each other once we're off this call, and we need to see each other.
Okay.
And we need to start working with it from that perspective.
Okay. All right.
Okay? Yes.
Yes.
So we'll set something up. We'll email, call each other later on tonight, and we'll set something up and work on it. But the way for you to work on it with what we've done tonight is to own that you're going on the trip. Let's not own all this stuff around it. Own what's in your heart. Too many times we own the but.
Yeah.
Instead of owning the thing we want.
Yeah.
So
see,
if
that's
you
kind
want
of,
it,
yeah.
yes.
I feel like I should focus on the trip, and that somehow work will fall in line or into place. It's like the trip should be my focus, and
yes.
But I keep going back to, but no, that's
yes.
Yeah.
That's not what they taught you. They taught you not to focus on what you want. They taught you to focus on the obstacles.
Right.
So focus on the trip. Focus on what you want. Yes, Daniel?
Yeah, and what I'm seeing this, first of all, I'm laughing in my head, Karen, so I don't think you and I know each other.
No, we haven't met.
So focusing on the trip is what I went on Sheilaa's Odyssey quest 3 years ago. I can't even tell you the profound change on so many levels of my life. And as I'm thinking that, laughing, I see in my mind's eye, I see this big rope that's being given to you. And it's just like, all I can say is just grab the rope. It's like there's this big rope, and it's like, it's not some flimsy little thing. It's a big rope, but you can put your hands around it. And I just, in my mind's eye, I see it's like, okay, it's just right here. And so what I'm offering to you and what I'm getting is just grab the rope. And then use what it is that things like Keys we're talking about tonight, have the conversation with Sheilaa. She can also help support you. Because the way this stuff happens, like all of life, is one darn step at a time. But it just feels to me like that's the rope. It just feels, in my gut, it's just telling me that's the rope that pulls you through all of it. I don't know you from anybody, and so I'm a little hesitant to say this, but it's so obvious in my mind's eye. It's just like, just grab it.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So
thanks for speaking up.
Yes.
So thank you everybody for who's had the questions. Thanks for everybody's kind and generous attention during that. So a couple things to wrap up is that, so Karen just brought up the Odyssey Quest, and so that's what got us here tonight, was Sheila's and my work to put together this spiritual journey. And it's a retreat, it's a tour, it's a pilgrimage that's done in a group, and we're doing this in Catalonia, which is where I live now. I'm American, as you can probably tell, but I live here in Catalonia, and we're going to take people around Catalonia, showing amazing sights, going to Montserrat, having 3 days in Montserrat, having a really profound, hold on a second, I'm just going to, so I'm going to suggest if that calls to you to basically take 9 days out of your life to come on a journey with Sheilaa and I. And as you can tell, we're no fun. You'll have an amazing time. And we're going to be working with the people coming with us to practice the tools that we presented here, other tools to help you to live the life that you came here to live and get what you want out of life, and have an amazing time doing it. Great food, amazing sights, the sea, the mountains, Barcelona, etc. And so on the emails that you've received, on the one that we're sending tomorrow, there'll be a link so you can check that out if that calls to you. And I'm going to talk about the follow-up call to this in 2 weeks. But before I do that, Sheilaa, is there anything else you want to add about the Odyssey Quest?
I want to add something. When Daniel first came along on the Odyssey to Scotland, he was reluctant at first, and he didn't know at first, and he actually backed out once. But he listened to his heart and his spirit, because he didn't know how it was going to happen. And finally, he said yes, and when he said yes, everything opened up. Well, because Daniel, and it wasn't 3 years ago, it was really like, I think 2, because Daniel listened and went on the Odyssey Quest. He had no idea what was going on in his life. Pluto, the planet of transformation, had just gone through and obliterated everything he knew, and he didn't know who he was and what was going to happen. He went on this Odyssey, and I watched Daniel become alive again. And then I watched him get the idea to go to Morocco and lead groups to Morocco. And then I watched him say, I'm going to stop in Barcelona for a little bit before I go to Morocco. And then I had a conversation with him where his little bit, by the way, he wasn't interested in Barcelona at all and living there. And his little bit of being there, then I remember the phone call with, I just met somebody who's going to be my husband. And then we're getting married, and I'm in less than 2 years. I'm not saying that you're going to find the love of your life. I'm just saying that if you open up, who knows? And Daniel has mentioned a couple of times how magical his life is. It is phenomenal. I just look at what he's done in the last 2 years and laugh. And I can't ever believe that your dreams can't come true. I can't ever believe that magic doesn't happen. And I can't ever believe that God doesn't mean me when God's handing me out the goodies. So that's what I want to say.
Yeah.
About
beautiful.
The Odyssey Quest.
Beautiful. Not only to get married and find that, I mean, just like the most amazing soulmate in my life is amazing. And I am doing the work that it is I actually came here to do on this planet. My life is making amazing sense. I did this Facebook post the other day. It's like all the pieces of who it is that I have been my entire life all fit together, and they make sense, and I know it, and I'm discovering more as I keep moving forward. So yes, this is why you and I do this work, because it's like, oh my God, this is so amazing. You gotta see this. You gotta learn this. You gotta have this. You gotta have this in your life. So in order to support that moving forward from tonight, Sheilaa and I decided, look, we got to do this again, because we're here. We're giving people tools. We're stirring the pot. These energies are quite amazing right now, astrologically. So you will get an email about this. So don't worry about the information. But we invite you back here 2 weeks from when this started tonight, which will be
about this time. It may not be tonight, but it'll be about this time.
Yeah. So yeah, right. To coincide with the you're right, to coincide with the full lunar eclipse. And we'll give you, in essence, you'll have 2 weeks to practice these tools that we've given to really embrace this. And so I'm going to offer you the invitation and also actually just challenge you to try this. It's like, so a lot of you, I mean, I know a number of you are, have been on the planet for a while, as I have. And it's easy to kind of give up on yourself. And look, you didn't give up on yourself because you got yourself here. Don't give up on yourself. We're giving you something that maybe you haven't tried before, maybe you have, and it didn't give you what you want. I don't know. Grab it and run with it. I don't know what's possible. I don't know how to do this, but trust me, all of life is there waiting to show you. And just take the action. Now, 2 weeks, write down your questions, write down the stumbling blocks, just get it all on paper. I need to, otherwise I forget. Come back here for the next call in about 2 weeks with all of that, because our intention, at least at this point, and we may hear stuff different between now and then about what we're going to do, but at this point, the intention is to devote time to your questions and really helping you to get some of this stuff ironed out so you can keep moving forward with this. Anything else, Sheilaa?
Nope, that's pretty good. That's it.
Okay, cool. So write down your questions. You'll get an email. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's just such an honor and such a privilege to do this work and to share this with whoever will listen. And even more, to be honest, it's just humbling to see when people actually start doing this and working it. It's kind of like over here going, oh my God, look at that. Because stuff happens. Great stuff happens. And so I invite you to the party. So grab it, run with it. Thank you very much for your time and attention tonight. They're incredibly valuable resources. So give them to yourself for the next 2 weeks. Give this gift to yourself. And from me, good night all. And Sheilaa?
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful spending time with you. Yes, and I send you lots of love and joy. Oh, and look at that. Yes, you're welcome. So you're very welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. And when you find that magical, intuitive part of yourself, you'll see what Daniel and I are talking about. Not only see it, but you'll have a full-fledged experience of it.